Life as a solo dino can be a dangerous one, to say the least. With cannibalism being the norm, in these murky waters, at any moment, you could find yourself on a bigger croc's menu and become their next meal. Navigating the waters through the day, you could at least spot danger in the distance, but at night, you could be meters from hungry jaws without even knowing, and so, the struggle begins in my first playthrough on Gateway's harsh river life. Just quickly, a whopping 96% of my audience aren't subscribed. As a small content creator, it would mean the world to me if you could go down below and click that subscribe button. With that said, thank you, and let's start the venture. We spawned in at the water access point, but most dinos would choose this spawn, as we soon find out. Making our way immediately to the water, things were already looking good, as a fellow hatchling dino was AFK in the middle of the water. So, he quickly became my first meal, and with that, we now had the much needed perfect diet for the perfect start. I can't believe how good of a start I've got. It's almost too good to be true. But once I eat these intestines, we're set. Now I had the 50% growth rate that was much needed, and all I had to do now was be on alert for danger and hide in the dense foliage, only coming out to top up on my food. The dino has a slow growth rate, even with the perfect diet. But I was patient and had spotted a small raptor trying to make a perilous swim to the land. But today, he just became yet another meal. Dragging him under the surface, his lungs were filling with water until eventually his life was no more. Considering this was meant to be a hotspot for other dinos, I was surprised to find that there were barely any around. I always had my guard up though, as dropping it for even a minute could prove fatal, and with such a good start, I didn't want to waste it. While basking on the bank, keeping a safe distance from other crocs, a brave pteranodon flew in and wanted to make friends. Out of respect for his nerves of steel, a mutual agreement was made to not harm the brave bird. I was taking a liking to our new companion, and even went to catch some fish for him. He was even polite enough to thank me for the food, and as other dinos approached, we made it clear that this guy was off limits, and that anyone harming him would be punishable by death. However, with this small group we had formed, it was only a matter of time before we attracted unwanted attention. An adult dino had found us, and I wasn't about to hang around to find out if he was friendly. Now the area was too hot for my liking, so I swam through the torrential rainfall, downriver, to find a more secluded spot to rest, hide and grow. It seemed like this other small dino had the same idea. I decided to head further down the river, further away from the spawn, possibly to a safer location. But even this far downriver, danger was lurking just meters away. Would this be it? Would this adult Dino make me next on his menu? Luckily for me, I had slipped by unnoticed. But not only was this croc much bigger, he wasn't alone. I continued onwards, exploring the rivers cautiously, trying not to get too distracted by the scenery and environment. My perfect diet was in full effect. However, it would still be some time before I reached adulthood. Conserving my stamina and basking on the bank, we had finally reached Juvenile. Progress was being made. Well, we're slowly getting there. My stomach was nearly half empty, and my buffs about to soon expire, so I looked to make this smaller croc my next meal. The hunt was on. Clever croc. After landing numerous bites on him, it wasn't enough, and when he hit land, I was too slow, and he slipped away. After spending what felt like forever regenerating my stamina, I headed back to the water, and would you know, another opportunity arose. He was smaller than me, but he wasn't alone, and after swimming to his buddy, I didn't want to take the risk, and I made a getaway. Now, I was the one being hunted. They gave up the chase, and I don't blame them, as chasing me, they would surely burn through all of their stamina. It was now too dangerous for me to hang about in that part of the river, so I made my way up the waterfall and back in to a safer spot. While drinking from the river, a raptor was not minding his surroundings, and quickly became my next meal. Consuming small raptors and other dinos would not be enough to sustain me as I grew bigger, so I headed back up to the water access point where most dinos spawn, in hopes of finding possibly a juvenile that would sustain me, fill my belly and increase my buffs. I had made my way back to the water access point, but food was scarce, so I'd logged for the day and returned a few days later to continue the venture. Now we've got to be careful because it's been a few days. We don't know what dinos are around. We made our way back into the water, but no one was around. It was quiet, so I headed back down the waterfalls in hopes of finding some more food. Would this just be like the other day? Would I be starving? Unable to find food to sustain my huge mass. That'll do for a nice little snack. As I continued my way back down the river, I spotted 2 smaller dinos. But I wasn't going to rush this kill, so I swam down the river pretending that I wasn't interested in them. But little did they know, I was hunting them. Heaping low to the floor and using debris as cover, I bought my time and patiently waited for a good opportunity to pounce on one of them and claim my kill. The white one had caught a fish, and I knew he was going to be on land trying to consume it. So I waited till he stopped, and then I took my chance. Just as I breached the water, he'd made a run. Whether his mate had warned him, or it was just bad timing, this would be a failed hunt, as they both made for land and made their getaway. Chasing them would be pointless. They were smaller and quicker. So now, I was in trouble. With my bus running out and my stomach nearly empty, I had to make a choice. I need to make a choice here. Do I keep going downriver in hopes of finding fish and other food? Or do I go back to where most crocs spawn and try it there? I'm going to head back to try to find food. I know there's a better chance of me finding food back at the spawn. And then once I got a full belly I can go downriver. So I started making my way back upriver to the water access point in hopes of finding food. For if I didn't, I would surely starve to death. Two pteranodons were skimming the water for fish, and one of them had crashed. However, this little guy would barely make a dent in my stomach, so, after scaring him a little, I let him live. Things would only get worse, as my stomach continued to empty. I was nervous. If this wasn't going to work, that was it. My life as a dino would be over. That was a big dino, I just saw that. Just going over the waterfall. I've got to be careful. I know I'm eager to get this meal, but I'm not starving yet, and I really don't need my stamina depleting. There's an elite fish, we'll take that for now. I couldn't spot the large dino, but a smaller croc was swimming on top of the water, and he had no idea that his life was about to end. This small dino would not fill my stomach, but would be enough to mean that I would not starve anytime soon. So, after performing a death roll and getting his organs out, I consumed everything. And then, before you know it, I was 100% grown. I was a fully grown Deinosuchus. I scouted the waters in search of a larger meal, something that would fill my stomach. And after weighing up a few options, I decided that this dino, resting by the bank, would make for the perfect meal. So, the hunt began. And there's our meal. Little to my knowledge, this guy wasn't alone. I'm in trouble. I'm dead either way. His mate will finish me off. The hunt was a success. Now, my stamina just needs to replenish. I don't think he'll come back. I've got a good few bites on him. I think he was the run originally I was going for. I did not think I was going to win that. They could have both killed me if they both teamed up on me, but they played it pretty bad. After recovering some of my stamina, I tried to open up the body to get access to the organs. But, after 3 bites, my stamina was nearly empty again. And this would take a while. God, this stamina's terrible. I want to open the body up, but I just lose so much stamina doing it. I could just get ambushed while I'm trying to get the organs. I don't like that, man. I think that needs to be fixed a little. The stamina is just far too long to regen. And would you know, the inevitable happened. After being sat here for 10 minutes, trying to get stamina back, an adult Dino came to steal my kill. See, I haven't got a choice. This is ridiculous. I've done that to get the kill, but my stamina's taken so long to regen that I can't eat. And now this guy's come along and he's stealing my kill. No, man. This needs to be fixed. It's not fair. After the adult Dino had his fill, the body was not all lost. He's watching me for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to ambush me for some reason, even though he's just 8. Still low on health, I made my way down to consume what I could. Luckily for me, he'd helped me get access to the organs. He hadn't consumed anything but the meat on the outside. So, after consuming the necessary diet requirements, I was back to a triple buff and my stomach full. We're good. However, I don't think this guy was alone, as him and another Dino looked like they were setting up an ambush. Okay, they're double teaming me. I need to get out of here. I was soon going to be thirsty, so I made my way back into the river. Luckily for me, they weren't waiting to ambush me, and I quickly took my leave. Heading back down the river, we'd made it. Our first Dino life. We were 100% growth, and we were still alive, after what was a close encounter. As dawn came, I decided that I would take my leave here, finding a good spot to log out, and maybe continue the adventure another time. Overall, I'm enjoying this beautiful new land and its stories, and I hope you guys are too. But for now, I leave you here, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.